Welcome to another edition of the Mac and Fish podcast. This is Charles Fishbein, aka Fish. I'll be flying solo tonight as we speak to another one of the state final coaches, Hector Clavijo. In 3 seasons as head coach at Champagnat Catholic, Coach Clavijo has taken his team to 3 straight championship games. He's looking to win back-to-back titles for the first time in school history. The Lions program has only been in existence for about 10 years and is looking to win a 4th title. Follow us as we're about to speak with Coach Clavijo. We're back for another segment in our state title series, talking to one of the top coaches in Dade County, Hector Clavijo. He's now been at Champagnat. This is his 3rd straight year of being at the school as a head coach. He was an assistant coach for a couple years before that. He's been at the school a total of 5 years. And Coach is going for his 3rd straight title game and 2nd back-to-back state title wins. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you on, and you're a special guest. There's not many coaches that have so many state title chances as you've had at Champagnat, and you've done a great job at that program. And tell us a little bit about how you got started at Champagnat, and you've carried on for a couple coaches before you that had success. But tell us a little bit about your program.
So I started at Champagnat with Coach Dennis. Coach Dennis brought myself and my brother onto the staff after his first season there. So we came in there 5 years ago, and then and help take that team to from a 2-8 program when he took it over to a state contender. And then from there I just we continue to build and just continue to do things the right way. And then with Dennis, those first 2 years going to state back to back and finally getting that one was great. And then once I took over after that season, we've continued to go back every year after that. So it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun run. And just been able to be blessed to, like you said, to have these many opportunities and to be in this position and just give the kids an opportunity to be there. It's something that I always wanted when I was in high school, and I'm just glad I could give these kids an opportunity to be state champions and play in these events. And this year's at Florida State, which is obviously a phenomenal facility. I think it's a great move by the FHSA, and we're excited. We're excited to be there and to make this happen.
Yeah, it's a relatively young program, right, Champagnat? I know the school's been there a long time, but the program itself, how many years ago did this start, the program?
So they started football in 2010, and then you got to go those first 2 years independent. And if I'm not mistaken, their first year that they were allowed to enter the state series, they won the state championship in 2013. And then 14, I think they had some issues with an IMG situation. Then they weren't allowed to go to the playoffs. Then 15 was Dennis's first year, and then 16 was the year I joined Coach Dennis. So it's only been around realistically, I think it's been eligible seasons to go to the playoffs. They've only missed the playoffs they've been eligible to go to one time.
So basically, you're talking years 2 championships that you're about to possibly win your 2nd championship. Dennis Marcone had won a championship, also Mike Tunsil. So basically, in a 7 or 8 year period, the school's had a ton of success. I mean, you're talking about 4 potential state titles in less than a decade. And most schools, I mean, there's a lot of small schools, whether it's Dade Christian, Miami Christian, all these schools that are kind of had the same opportunities you guys, haven't had the same success as you.
Yeah. I think Dade Christian in the past was a very good known program. And I think they died out with football for whatever reason, and then Miami Christian tried to start it up again, and I guess that didn't work out either. I don't know. I mean, I think it starts with the administration. I think we got a great backing. The 2 women that run the school are phenomenal. They're super supportive. Whatever we need, they're going to get it done. And they want to win just as bad as we do.
There's no question about that. I noticed that when I've walked into your school, They're very receptive to people that are from the outside that come in to help promote their program. They definitely want you to be there. They're not trying to shoo you off. And no, they want you to be there. And I think that's why you guys have had so much success. And it's not like you guys have a ton of resources there. You know, you guys are basically winning probably on a shoestring budget, and you've done a phenomenal job.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we don't have any resources. We have an outdoor weight room that we get great work in. We have a basketball court that we could do our conditioning on. That's outside as well, and we practice remotely. And this year was extremely tough because all the city parks were closed, and we usually were able to practice on a city park. But we literally bounced around for that whole first week of football. um, we were at a different park every day trying to figure it out until finally we found a church that was able to lend us their field. Essentially, it was just a large piece of grass, and we've been able to make it work. I mean, today was our first practice on an official practice field. With length, with lines, and things of that sort. Every other day has been, well, we're just on a piece of grass. You know what I mean? Just making it happen.
So you don't want to hear excuses from anybody else. It's like,
Oh, from another coach or program, nobody does it like we do. So I don't want to hear anything. But that's also it's a reflection of our kids. Our kids, know not to make excuses because they don't come from much, they don't have much, and so when we go play on a turf, they're just all right. This is better than what we got. Let's roll. So anything is better than what we come from. So everything's a positive.
we talked about it. Mike Tunzel and Dennis Marquin both, kind of brought the program and put it on the map. Obviously, they left the program in a pretty good spot where you've come in and continue to success. How have you been able to keep that ball rolling, you think?
I mean, it's been roller coaster ride in between each one of those, previous coaches. As Tunsil, when Tunsil stepped away, you were back down to having 12 kids in the program. When Dennis took over, it was tough for him. And then it got better as time went on, and then when I took over, it was also a roller coaster. I was, when Dennis stepped down, I had a lot of kids exit, and I was down about 18 kids, um, you know, that following year. So really, that following year was the toughest year for me. Not having many players, and then being able to go back to the state championship was awesome, because those kids that stayed really, Dennis always said that the kids that stay will become champions. So, those that trusted in me and stayed, it worked out. We went back and now we're winning. And, those that left, not many were able to find that success. So it's been great. It's been an awesome ride. Now we got it trending. 65 deep on a two-way program is unheard of. And it's awesome. It's awesome. If I had a couple more linemen, I'd probably have a JV. You know, um, but we got it rolling now, and administration loves it. The school loves it. The fan base is getting bigger and bigger. I mean, we got 2 fan buses going up to Tallahassee tomorrow. That's never happened before either, and that's just parents, no students, and it's really growing. There's fans all over the games. We've played 14 straight away games. I forfeited my home game and gave it to the other team and went and played at their house in Naples. Um, you know, so because I couldn't get the Travis Powell, so there was no other field available. So we go through it all. We do it, and we eat our punches and keep it moving,
Yeah.
and yet we still end up here.
To follow up on what you just said, I just caught something that you caught said. You look at your program. You're not a typical small school program. I mean, you look at the schedule, the Chaminades, the Day Christians, the Monsignor Paces. You play True Prep Academy, American Heritage. Like you guys are like old school Miami Hurricanes, where it's like anywhere, anytime, any place. Do you feel that's helped your guys just build your program where it is today?
100%, 100%. Ever since I took over the program, if you go back to my first year as a head coach, I went up and played Niceville. They're state contenders every year. I played Superior Collegiate that year, was very, very good. I mean, they had kids going all over the country. And then follow that up. I played Venice that season as well. And we traveled to them. That first year we went 5-5. I didn't care. The following year, last year, we went to play the state champions in Tennessee, and we played this. We went to play Lowndes at Lowndes. You know, um, we play the same teams that anybody else would play. We're not scared of anybody. And to me, I'm not a regular season championship kind of guy. I don't really care what our record looks like. To me, it's about getting better every single week. And it's all going to just prepare us for the playoffs. And now you've been in multiple dog fights throughout the season. When you get to the playoffs, it's going to show. And it showed last week. If anybody followed our game last week, we were down 14-7. And all of a sudden, our kids just didn't panic. Down 14-7 is the first time we've been down since October. And we jumped out. We went back up. We scored 49 unanswered and ended that game. You know, and we're going to translate that to Wednesday's game as well, and just stay calm, collective, and we've been there before.
I know it's a team sport and you don't want to single anybody out, but how good's Donovan Jones? I see he's got close to 1,200 yards, 1,300, 13 touchdowns. How good of a player is he?
Donovan's phenomenal, and I'll be honest, those stats are nice only because they'll be nicer. I'm sorry, because he's only played in the playoffs. His only full game was last week. So the 5 games before that, he's played 2 quarters. And to be honest with you, the Moorhaven game, the game got kind of chippy real early. And I benched him after the first quarter. I wasn't going to risk him. We're already up by 30 points. So he's only played in the last 5 games. I think he's played 9 quarters of football, and those are the numbers he's putting up. So he's a special player. He's dynamic. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. We motion him out into the slot, create mismatches. He's just so doggone fast, man. He's patient. And he's special. I believe he's going to sign a Gardner Webb on Tuesday. I'm sorry, on Wednesday, and they're getting a hell of a player, man. That's going to be.
Wow. That's a steal for them, but it's just impressive what he's done, especially in the limited amount of touches and everything. We discussed it before. The one thing that your program has is great leadership at the top, administrators that want to win and give you everything they can. Tell us a little bit about your administrators and the people that helped build this program, because it's not just about you. I mean, a coach is only as good as the people that are around him, and they've been a big a part of that success as well. Tell us a little bit about the people that help run your school.
Yeah, I mean, it starts at the top with Mrs. Alonso. She's the owner of the school. She's been there. Her family founded the school, 54 years ago now. Um, and she's awesome, man. She loves sports. She loves to compete. She's on the sideline. She's the one telling us to back up. She literally tells me to back up behind that line every single play. I mean, it's unbelievable. She's almost like a gnat at a barbecue, just always in your ear telling you to back up. But that's how involved she is, and we really appreciate that, because it's not someone that's sitting in the press box, in the sky box, and just sitting there looking down and saying, "Oh yeah, that's my program. We're good." Blah 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 blah. Like, no, she's down there. She's handing out water. She's telling people to get back. She's helping with the chains. She'll help tape a kid up if you need it. So all those things really play a big role, and the kids see that. She's one of them. She literally chest bumps every single kid when they score on every single touchdown. I think she's gonna tear something every time she jumps in the air. Like it's literally, but the kids love it. They look for her. Like, they're like, "Oh yeah, where's Miss A?" And that's awesome. That she could have that relationship with those kids. And then the principal is literally on the sideline. Like, if we're down, she'll literally walk up to you and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, what do we got to do here? Like, and so they're there. They know their role. They're supportive. They listen. And she actually told the rest of the staff today, like, when it comes to the school, she's the boss. But when it's on the field, like, I'm the boss. So whatever I would say goes. You know what I mean? And they respond really well. We have a great relationship. Respect, and it's really a great system that we got going on. With the admin, and they're women, which is different. You usually don't get that. You don't get that involvement with women, especially with football. Since there's no, usually, like, if you got a girls soccer or volleyball, whatever, they'll do both sports, but there's no girls football. So for them to be so involved like that is different, and it's special, and I think that's part of our success for sure.
No doubt. I'm looking at some of these scores: 65-7 over Glades Day, 42-0 First Baptist, 49-18 over Moorhaven, 67-7 over Community. Yeah, you just go on. Coach, these are impressive wins. I mean, you're not just beating teams, you're pounding them into the turf. How do you keep your team from becoming complacent? Do you have to worry about these players, become overconfident, especially going in a state title game like you do?
No, because I'll tell you what. I'll be honest. Sometimes they can look at the film and they're like, "Oh man, this team's not very good." And we kind of have a lackadaisical week of practice. And if you go through those scores one by one, any team that has scored on us, aside from Sefner, were like dumb scores, like a trick play happened, or they scored like late, or like something happened. Like, but so they kind of didn't have the greatest week of practice. So that's like the tough part is keeping them engaged when the team doesn't look very good on film. But for the most part, like last week's game against Sefner, the First Baptist game was, I mean, they're a really good program. I mean, that team beats what is it, American Collegiate, and American Collegiate just played True Prep really well. So that's a really good program. And we beat them 42-0. And that was a week where they were super toned in. Last week, same thing. Like you could see a difference in them. And this week it's been exactly the same. Like, we're doing a phenomenal job, just buying in, watching film. There's literally kids about to pull up to my house to watch film at 10 o'clock at night. Like that's how committed they are. They figure it out. We watch film, we break stuff down. We're very analytical here, and that's how that's part of our success. So it hasn't been super difficult. Plus, they know it's any given Sunday. They've seen teams lose to poor teams, and this week I used the Georgia LSU reference. It's two teams that you never know who's up or who's down, and you can't let a mental mistake ruin the game for you. So, that's part of the process, part of being a coach. But that's why I love those tough games, because when we played Chaminade, when we played the True Preps, when we played Day Christian, American Heritage, those schools, you see they're locked in. It's different, and I've seen that same kind of focus for these games, the playoffs. And, some of these kids are playing for more than just themselves. Like, they're playing for my brother that passed. They're playing for a lot of different things. So, there's more to it than just football.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time, especially this late at night. But you've done a phenomenal job, and you guys are looking at something special. I mean, you're talking 4 state titles possibly at a small school, but if you look at the potential championships after this one that you've won, not many schools in Dade County outside of maybe Miami Central, Northwestern, a couple other schools, Carroll City, not many have won one, and you're about to win your 4th one in possibly a 10-year span. And that's a great accomplishment, not only for you, but everybody involved with your school. And, I wish you nothing but the best going up there. I'm biased towards a 305. So you got to go represent us. I mean, I brought it up the other day. I went to Palmetto and I was really hoping they would, get it done, and they just missed out. And I take a lot of pride in you guys going up there and getting the job done. And I wish you nothing but the best. And, good luck come the next couple of days, and nothing. Have a safe trip up there and back, and get everybody back here safe. And hopefully, we'll see you back in spring, and you guys have spring football this year, because I think that's been huge that everybody missed that this year, just from so many different points of view. But
Yeah, from a football standpoint, especially in a recruiting standpoint, especially like it's hurt so many kids. Coronavirus has really killed recruiting, big time. So it's been a fight, to handle that this year. So,
well, we're here to help any of those kids out. If there's any kids you want us to help promote that after signing day on Wednesday that they don't have a home, Elite Scouting Services and what we do, we'll be more than glad. But one of the last things that we like to go over, some coaches are tech savvy, some aren't, but do you have a social media platform that people can follow you, Coach?
Yes, sir. My Twitter and my Instagram are both the same. It's IREP coaches. So I rep coaches. That's the name of the Instagram. And the Twitter, they're both the same. It's the same handle.
Well, I really appreciate it. And for our followers that do listen to the Mac and Fish podcast, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Anchor. We're going to send you those links, Coach, so you could put them on your sites and let everybody listen to, this. I feel like it's a great avenue for you guys to promote your program. And like I said, good luck this week, and nothing but the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and we'll kick it off right for the 305.
That's good to hear, man. Take it easy.
All right, take care. Thank you, Fish.
All right, bye.